chapter 27, the chapter of the Pismire, containing 413 verses written at Mecca. Now, okay, that's really what they're naming it, Pismire. In the name of God, gracious and merciful. Causing God is most pure, he understandeth all. These mysteries are the mysteries of Al-Quran, which distinguish the truth from a lie. It conducteth men into the right way and proclaimeth the joys of paradise to such as believe in the law of God, who make their prayers at the time appointed, pay tithes, and have knowledge of their end. They that believe not in the day of judgment, like well of what they do. And are in confusion, they shall in the end be in the number of the damned. Al-Quran was conveyed to thee from the most prudent, that knoweth all things. Remember thou that Moses said to his family, I see a fire, I go to it, I will bring you tidings, I will bring you a spark, peradventure you shall be warmed. When he drew near to the fire, he heard a voice that was said to him, O Moses, that which is in this fire, and whatsoever is about it, is blessed. Praise is due to God, Lord of the universe. I am God, omnipotent and eternal. Cast thy staff on the ground. When Moses beheld his staff to move as it had been alive, he went back very sorrowful, and returned no more. Fear not that staff. My messenger and my prophets have no fear in my presence. He that shall be converted shall find me gracious and merciful. Put thine hand into thy pocket. It shall come forth white without harm. It shall be one of the 9 marks of my omnipotency. Pharaoh and his ministers were altogether erroneous. When they saw my miracles, they said that they were but sorcery. They despised them and increased their impiety. Consider what is the end of the wicked, and how they have been destroyed. We gave knowledge to David and to Solomon. They said we gave knowledge to... They said, God, who hath gratified us above many of his servants that have believed in his omnipotency. Solomon was David's heir, and said to the people, we understand the language of birds. We know whatsoever can be known. It is an exceeding great grace. Solomon's army being one day assembled before him, composed of men, devils, and birds, he led them to the valley of Pismires. A Pismire, their queen, cried out, O Pismires, enter into your houses, lest Solomon and his troops trample you underfoot without knowledge of it. Solomon, hearing these words, remained some time without speaking, and in the end began to laugh, saying, Lord, assist me, that I may give thee thanks for the benefits and graces which thou didst confer upon my father. If I do well, thou wilt accept it. Place me through thy mercy in the number of them that exalt thy glory. He called for the whoopee and said, "Wherefore see I not the whoopee? Is she in the number of the absent? I will punish and put her to death, if she have not a lawful excuse." Not long after, she humbled herself before Solomon, who asked her whence she came. She answered, "I come from seeing what thou seest not. I come from the kingdom of Saba, whence I bring certain tidings. I have found a woman, their queen, who hath whatsoever is necessary for a king. She hath great and magnificent throne. I have found that she with her subjects adore the sun. The devil caused them to delight in this their action. He hath seduced them from the right way, and they shall be in error until they worship one God, who sendeth rain from heaven, and maketh the earth to produce plants and fruits, who knoweth whatsoever is in the hearts of men, and what they utter. God, there is but one God, Lord of the universe." Solomon said, "I shall soon see if thou speak truth, or whether thou be in the number of the liars. Go and bear her this letter. Observe what she and her people shall answer at her arrival." The queen said to her ministers, "O ye that are raised to dignity in my dominions, a letter is given me from Solomon of this tenor: Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of God, gracious and merciful. Rise not up against me and obey me. Give me counsel what I ought to do. I will do nothing without your advice, and what you see not with your eyes." They answered, "Our welfare and misery depend on thee. Command whatsoever shall esteem good to thee, and we will obey thee." She said, "When kings enter a city, they introduce many disorders. They abase and humble the chief of inhabitants and the most eminent. If Solomon and his people come hither, they will use us in like manner. I think it requisite to send to him an ambassador with some presents. Perhaps he will take a resolution to return." When the ambassador arrived in Solomon's presence, he said unto him, "Do ye bring me presents? God hath bestowed on me more riches than on you. Presents, rejoice you, because you love them. Return to them that sent you. I will visit them with forces so great that they shall not be able to resist. I will drive them out of their dominions, and they shall be miserable if they obey me not." Then he said to his people, "Sirs, who will bring to me the royal seat of that woman before she and her subjects obey me?" One of the devils said unto him, I will bring it before thou arise from thy place. I am strong enough to bear it. I will carry it carefully. One of them that attended Solomon, who knew the scripture, said, "I will bring it to thee in the twinkling of an eye." When Solomon beheld this throne before him, he said, "Behold, here a favor of God to try it. I would acknowledge his benefits. He that returneth thanks to God for his graces performeth his duty. He rejecteth him that is ungrateful. I will try if she followeth the right way, or whether she be in the number of the seduced." They changed something in her royal seat to try if she would know it. When she arrived in Solomon's presence, at her arrival, they shewed it her, and asked if it resembled her own. She replied, "It resembleth it, as if it were the same." She had knowledge of the right way, but that which the people and she adored instead of God had seduced them from the obedience of his divine majesty. They spake to her to enter into a gallery. When she beheld the pavement, she believed it to be water, and in lifting up her robe, fearing to wet it, discovered her leg. Solomon told her that the pavement was a polished glass, and exhorted her to embrace the law. Some accounts say that there was aquamarine below the glass to give it sort of the watery look. And exhorted her to embrace the law of God. Then she said, Lord, I am to blame. And having offended thee, I am obedient with Solomon to the commandments of the God of the universe. We sent Saleh to Tamad and his people to exhort them to worship one God. He said unto them, O people, fly to the mercy of God. If ye implore pardon of him, ye shall be pardoned. They said, Wouldst thou draw us into thine error, and into the error of them that are with thee? He said, God shall chastise you. You were seditious. They were 9 persons in the city that defiled the earth, and did no good. They said among them, Let us this night kill the prophet and his adherents. We will say to them that seek him, that we saw him not, neither them that slew him, and will swear that we speak truth. They were cunning, but we were more subtle than they, and they knew it not. Consider what was the end. Consider what was the issue of their stratagems. We destroyed them with their followers, and their houses became desert because of their impiety. And this shall serve for example to them that have knowledge of our omnipotency. We serve the prophet and all the true believers that were with him. Remember thou the history of Lot, who said to his citizens, Will ye always defile yourselves in uncleanness in each other's view? Will ye love men more than women? Ye are ignorant. They replied, Let us drive Lot and his family out of our city. They defiled not themselves like us. We preserved him with all his family, except his wife. She remained among them that were chastised. We caused it to rain upon them, a rain that gave them to know the severity of our chastisements, saying to them, Praised be to God, that destroyeth the wicked, and salvation to all those who he hath chosen. Are they not more happy than such as believe? There are many gods who created the heavens and the earth, who caused rain to fall from heaven, who hath made many delicious gardens to bring forth. You have not the power to cause the plants to spring forth without the assistance of God. Surely misbelievers do err from the right way. Who hath established the earth and made the rivers to flow? Who hath made heavy the mountains? Who but God hath put separation that is between the seas? The greatest part of the world know it not. Who rendereth men miserable? Who delivereth them from affliction when they invoke him? Who hath caused you to multiply and leave your posterity on earth? But God, nevertheless, few men give thanks. Who guideth in the darkness of the earth and sea? Who but God sendeth the winds, the forerunners of rain? He is most high and most powerful, but the wicked will not consider the effects of his omnipotency. Who formeth men, who maketh them to live, die, and rise again, who enriches them with the wealth of heaven and of earth. Let God say unto them, Produce your reasons, bring your arguments. If what ye allege be true, say unto them, None but God knoweth what is in heaven and earth. No man knoweth the future, present, and past. Do men know the day of resurrection? Contrawise, they doubt and are blind. The wicked have said, What shall we? We shall be dust, as are our fathers, and shall come forth out of our graves. This was hitherto promised to our fathers and to us, but this is a fable of old men. Tell them that they consider not what was heretofore, the end of the wicked. Afflict not thyself, for that they conspire against thee, and that they demand at what time they shall see the punishment that is foretold them. Say unto them, It is not far from you. Ye throw yourselves headlong into it, but God is pitiful towards his people. Nevertheless, the greatest part give him no thanks for his grace. The Lord knoweth what is in their heart, and whatsoever they speak. There is nothing in heaven or earth that is not written in a most intelligible book. Al-Quran explaineth to the children of Israel the greatest part of their difficulties. It will guide them into the right way and deliver from hell them that shall believe thee. Thy Lord shall judge them at the day of judgment. He is omnipotent and wise. Trust thou in God, and thou art the in the way of truth. The dead and the deaf shall not hear thee. The misbelievers shall depart from thee, pensive and astonished. Thou oughtest not to guide the blind, neither to make the deaf to hear, except such as shall believe in Al-Quran and be obedient. When the time of the punishment that is denounced against them shall come, he will cause a beast to come from under the earth that shall speak unto them, and shall say, the people believe not in the law of God, they know not his wondrous works. Be thou mindful of the day when I will assemble a multitude of all nations that have disobeyed my commandments, to give account to their actions. I will say unto them, ye have traduced my prophets, ye know not what ye said. What have ye done? Then shall they be punished for their sins and be inexcusable. They shall not speak a word. Do not misbelievers see that we have created the night for rest and the day for travel? This is a sign of my omnipotency. Be thou mindful of the day wherein the angel shall sound the trumpet, and whatsoever is in heaven and earth shall tremble with fear, except such as shall be in the favor of God. And that day shalt thou see the mountains suspended to move like the clouds. This shall be a work of God, who created all things and knoweth their end. He that shall have done good work shall be rewarded. He shall be without fear, and they that have done evil shall remain in the fire of hell. It shall be said unto them, are ye not chastised according to your demerits? Say unto the people, I command you to worship the Lord of this privileged city. All things appertain to him. I command you to believe in the unity of his divine majesty, and to study Al-Quran. Whoso doeth good shall find good. Say unto them that shall be seduced, I am sent only to preach the torments of hell. Say to the true believers, praise be God that hath given you to see his miracles, and hath given you knowledge of the right way. Thy Lord is not ignorant of what they do. And so use your privilege. Use your privilege here. And Pismire, ants. I thought it was ants. And want to make sure, right? People criticize privilege nowadays. It's like, well, it doesn't mean you have to usurp other people's rights to have your privilege, and definitely use your privilege towards good ends. But to each people, are going to be their choices, what promises they are going to follow. There are signs of special communication that people get. We know that insects and stuff communicate with each other nowadays. Back in the day, I don't think they knew. There were people who believed it.